yeah, that's because I was talking to a client one day and I was talking to him about petabytes, megabytes, terabytes, and he come back to me and said, what a byte? I said, that's a great name for an organisation. What a byte, big data, Power BI, that's where it's all going, yep. And what a great product is out there offered by Microsoft, and as we can see from the audience, there's obviously a lot of interest. Talking about the audience, I've talked about who I am, let's find out who you are. So, let's have a little raise of hands, because this principally, it's a bit of interaction, yeah? I don't want you just to listen to me. I would like to have a bit of interaction, not too much to take me off focus of the dialogue of the presentation, but just, you know, to keep you awake. I know we've all had a long day at work, and you've made an effort to get here, but, you know, let's make it fun for everyone as well whilst we're here. So, show of hands. So, let's start with who has downloaded Power BI Desktop? Okay, that's a good 70% there, I'd say. And what industries are we in? Let's have an idea what industries we're in. Are we in the finance industry? Very few, so that's what I'm used to doing in London, they always have his hands. Manufacturing industries. Okay, well, services, that must leave us all in. A few, okay, all unemployed then. No, it doesn't. It's all right. So who would consider themselves, let's try and get some hands up, as a beginner? Okay, that's quite a lot of beginner, that's good, because this is a level 100 presentation, we'll go through a few basics. And do we have anyone who considers themselves really advanced at this point? We've got one guy over there, 2 or 3, okay, cool. I hope you don't get bored. But
I can take it now, it's a 15-minute job.
That's an expert.
The gaffer's next to me, I shouldn't really say that.
Okay, that's cool. That's why Robert Walters are here, obviously as recruitment consultants. Check that guy out there later. Yeah. And just out of interest, talking about recruitment, is project managers, anyone out there who's trying to do an implementation of Power BI? Okay, so the majority of us are actually like learners and users, who are end users, rather than project managers. Okay, cool, great. So let's quickly, how long have I got? I've got 6:08, I've got 50 minutes, that's right, isn't it, yeah? Okay, that should hopefully work. So, what is Power BI? Big question. Introducing Microsoft Power BI. Oops, sorry, press the wrong button. Let's start. Let's see, is this on? Okay, start again. Okay, got the laser on. Introducing Microsoft Power BI. So it is, Power BI is a cloud-based business analytics service. And as they say, it does what it says it's on the tin. Yeah, it's cloud-based. It's up there in the cloud, yeah? It's a business analytics tool, which we obviously all know what that's about. And it's a service, yeah? It's a service provided by Microsoft. But the most important thing is that you can experience your data, your corporate data, any other data that's out there, and you can bring it into your data model, into your Power BI solution, and you can see it in many different ways. And then obviously you can see it anywhere, because it's in the cloud, it's a mobile platform, yeah? And that's what's a key thing for Microsoft, to get it out there. How much does it cost? We know there's currently the free version, and there's the pro version. Pro version costs roughly $10 a month. Sorry, it is $10, but depending on exchange rate. Now Trump's in, it might cost a bit more in GBP. And there's basically the differences between pro and free licenses, yeah? Are there any pro users here? Sorry, I was just trying to... Any pro users? Okay, majority of you are free users then, is that right? Yeah. Okay, interesting. The demo I'll be doing tonight is a free user demo, so whatever we can see tonight you can do as free users. So, we've told you what it is, we've told you how much it costs, so let's dive in, let's go there and let's see it. Yeah, PowerBI.com. Has anyone got their laptops with them, tablets, or mobile phones? Start going into PowerBI.com if you can, please, yeah? Wi-Fi's on the wall, the network's MadLab, and the password is community. I don't need too much bandwidth, so please don't do... Yep, you can use the Wi-Fi. The guys in the back, don't do too much streaming. And okay, so let's move on. PowerBI.com, that's where you start, yeah? Go there and let's go there. I'm going to have to switch back and forth from the PowerPoint to other windows, so be patient whilst I switch quickly. So where are we? PowerBI.com. PowerBI.com, yeah? When you land there, this is the Power BI in the cloud, the Power BI service. This is where you land, and you can create an account by signing in, getting started straight away. Get started free, sign up free. This gives you a user account where you can log in and exercise certain procedures in the cloud. Yeah? What's also important to realise is that from that portal, at the bottom of the page, you can see the different products which are offered by PowerBI.com. The Power BI there at the first is the Power BI service. Yeah, let me just switch back again, so we might as well see it on the portal, mightn't we? What's the products? Sorry. Products. Power BI. Power BI there, as it says, is a Power BI service. That's what's in the cloud, the PowerBI.com. We've got another product that's called Power BI Desktop, which is an application that you load to your local environment. We've got the Power BI Mobile, which are the mobile apps. And then there's other products. The Power BI Embedded is something else, but we'll not discuss that at this first stage. Future meetups will go there. So when you log in, yeah, I'm going to sign in. You land on your dashboard, okay, at PowerBI.com. You've logged in the top right-hand corner. That sees who's logged in. And you get various services going down the left-hand side. We're going to come back to this point, but I just wanted to show you it as the introduction, because that is where the most interaction with end users is when they land on the PowerBI.com. They sign up and they land in here. And what is this? It's just a cloud service, yeah? Cloud service where you can connect to data, bring data into your Power BI dashboards, portal here, and create reports. You can connect to many services, yeah? Look in the bottom left-hand corner. Get data, yeah? Get data, you can connect to different organizational data, services, files, and different databases, yeah? Even just look at the little services. We have all these different connectors where you can connect to loads of different services out there, yeah? But that is the Power BI service. That's what I would say the beginners use. What I want to introduce today is the next step, which we can be seen here in the bottom right-hand corner, is a little cloud environment that we've got going on. There in the cloud is the PowerBI.com service. But below that, we've got Power BI Desktop, which is sitting on your local environment, yeah? And what we do, we connect to a data source, wherever that is. We bring the data into the Power BI Desktop. And as Power BI developers, we develop a solution, and then we publish it to the cloud, where it sits in the cloud, and we then share it to our end users. And our end users log in to PowerBI.com, where they see the report that us as developers have published to the cloud. Here on the left-hand side, we have a little story about how the cloud, once you publish your desktop solution to the cloud, it stands alone in the cloud as its own file, as its own data set, as its own report. You know, it breaks away from your local environment and lives there in the cloud. And he then has to be able to access the original data source. And here sits what they call a gateway. But we'll discuss that further down. But I just want you to understand that environment. Yeah? Is that clear? Does I explain that pretty well, hopefully? Yeah? Right, let's get on. So, Power BI. different data sources that we can connect to. Yeah, we've got different SaaS solutions out there on the cloud, be it, you know, your Google Analytics, your Salesforce, GitHub, other stuff. Your on-premises data, if you're an enterprise organization, connect to your databases, your SQL databases, your Oracle databases, whatever you've got there, your SAP databases. There's other solutions that you can provide in the Power BI. We'll not go there just yet. You can connect to Azure services, which are in the cloud, which are the Microsoft Azure databases. For example, we can connect to local simple data sources like Excel spreadsheets. And we do this all within the Power BI desktop solution sitting locally on our local environments, where I connect to the data, prepare the data, I then explore the data to create reports, and I then publish it and share it. Okay? And when I publish it into the Power BI service, this phase. So here on the left, I'm connecting to my data sources. At the bottom, I'm developing those data sources, and then I'm pushing it into the cloud at PowerBI.com service, where I can use multiple features in the cloud, which we'll look at, including natural query language. Sharing is a key feature for the Power BI, yeah? I mean, that's what's getting market penetration. I mean, Microsoft, they give it away free for a reason, yeah? Get the market penetration, and then obviously there's the $10 charge per month. But first of all, get market share. So what I'm going to do today is talk to you about a dashboard in an hour, which is going to be less than an hour now, because I've been waffling on for too long. We're going to have a little story about some data set that's provided by Microsoft for an organization, one of their makeup organizations called Van Arstel, who are a manufacturer of electrical quality goods. And we're going to do a bit of sales analysis between Van Arstel and the competitors in the market. The data is going to be sitting in an Excel spreadsheet, and we're doing the demo in Power BI, obviously. And the strategy I'm going to follow from left to right is I'm going to start creating certain queries to access the data, bring the data into Power BI and configure the relationships in the data model. We're going to enhance that data model, design some reports and publish it to Power BI, and then share it. And hopefully you'll all be able to go home with a copy of that dashboard. Yeah. So it's hands-on. After myself, Kieran's going to be doing a more detailed focus on the visuals and of other issues of Power BI. I'm just going to scrape across the surface with a very simple solution with the objective to show you a lot of the end-to-end features of Power BI, yeah? So, switch to Power BI as it says. Switch to Power BI. So, Power BI desktop, where are we? Power BI desktop, we haven't even opened yet. That's good preparation. That was the reason behind that, because I want to show you that it is a genuine virgin presentation. So I'm there. I've double-clicked the Power BI desktop icon on the bottom of my taskbar, even though there's a strange reason it hasn't got an icon. It's every report that we create within Power BI desktop creates an individual file, which has the a file extension of .pbix. Okay, and this is the environment we're now in. We're now in Power BI desktop, and that's the first page we get when we open it up, and it's trying to entice you to well, it's just a bit introduction. Admittedly, for people who use it regularly, the first thing you do is close that. I'm actually logged in as another user, because it's just a user account that I've set up very quickly to show for this demos. So the first thing to do, contradictorily, I would just close that, because I'm not interested in doing what's new. I'm not looking at the forums out there just yet. The Power BI blog, there's loads of tutorials out there, there's videos, and here's just a list of my previous files that I've looked at. But on the basis that you wouldn't have that there, I would just advise you just to close that, and there you've got a blank dashboard. Yeah, that is your Power BI desktop environment. Now what we've got going across the top, we've got a few little menu options there. We've got a blank dashboard where we're going to be creating, doing our work, and on the left hand side I've got three key areas. I've got the report area, and going down I've got what they call the data area, and then I've got a relationships area. Three key areas, yeah, if you click them, that's relationships, there's nothing there. Click data, there's nothing there, but here on my right hand side all my tables would turn up with that data, and here the reports, I would create all my reports. My reports will be created from these visualization tools that I've got here, and all the data. So this is a complete virgin packet, yeah, solution. So what the first thing I'm going to do is, I've got some notes, but I might as well just drive on autonomously. So, first thing we do, get data, the famous Excel expression. Go and get that data. Yeah, you see it in Excel, you see it in Power BI, you see it everywhere, but that's where you go. Go and get data. When we get data, let's have a click, get data. Come on, yep. Okay. It comes up with a few proposed solutions, but we'll just go to the bottom and get more. And then we see the different categories of data sources that we can connect to. Yeah, I'm just going to give you a quick, brief look at those. Let's look at some database sources. Yeah, we can look at different SQL Server databases, Oracle databases, IBM, MySQL, PostgreSQL, Sybase, SAP HANA, you name it. There's a long list of different databases we can connect to. Yeah, and the good old traditional Access databases as well. Azure, which is the Microsoft cloud platform, there's great, because Power BI lives in the cloud and Azure lives in the cloud, there's great connectivity there as well between the different Azure services, SQL databases, and all the different services within the Azure cloud. Then also you can connect to many online services, yeah, your SaaS services that you've got out there, yeah, your Dynamics 365, your SharePoint Online, your Salesforce packages, your Google Analytics, whatever. These are ready-made connectors that Power BI have made it easy for us to connect to. They've obviously established a collaboration with these providers of there and made it easy for us. So you just click them and then you'll come up with various parameters you require to populate. What we're going to do, we're going to keep it simple. We're just going to go to a simple, sorry, there's some other ones there, sorry, let's have a look at the other ones. Other ones are the generic ones that don't fit in. You can make web connections, you can go and connect to a generic website, a URL, and pull off data off websites, OData feeds. And one of the key ones are, for example, when you haven't got a solution, and for you database guys out there, you can use the ODBC connector. So you can create your own domain, your DSN ODBC connectors, and make a direct connection into those databases, yeah? There's a lot of R scripts in there, but great, okay? So we're gonna go for a file and I'm gonna click connect. I then have to find where that data is. Now, my data is currently just residing on my desktop in those folder locations, yeah? And I'm just gonna click the data, that's the name of the Excel spreadsheet. And before I do that, I'm just going to take one step back, which I should have done, and I'm just going to show you what is in there first. So I'm just going to go to the file folder. I'm going to open that data Excel spreadsheet. And here we've got a little bit of data. Yeah, we've got 4 tables going out, 4 tabs, and we've got one called sales, one called product, one with geo, one called product, one with geo data, location data, and one with some dates, dimensions in there. The sales table is our fact table, yeah? We're selling, we've got product IDs, we've got dates of sale, the zip code that where we sold, the number of units we sold, and the revenue that we sold it for. We go into the product table tab, and we've got more details about our product dimension. We've got a product unique ID code, a product name, a category where that product fits into, which just looks like there's mixed, there's rurals, urban, and youth categories. We've got different segments that product applies to, yeah? If you can see those there, different like the youth sector, the productivity sector. We've got a manufacturer's ID, code, simple number, and we have a manufacturer's name. Van Arstel being the Microsoft name, and a few of the competitors in the market. Yeah, this sales data is a mix of that data, yeah? Now, of the different products, of the different manufacturers, yeah? Organized and granular level by product ID. The geo data we said originates from the zip code, and we go there and we've got a zip code and it's going to give us a city, which is all American data unfortunately, and a New York state, a region, districts, and a country that it's in, yeah? Then we've got a date table. A date table is a sequential sequence of dates from the 1st of January 2005 all the way down to the 31st of 12th 2016. A bit dated because we're in 2017, but it's important that's a sequential date. And we've got a few other key parameters about those dates, what month it is, the calendar, the Jan, whatever it is, what quarter it is in, what year it is, yeah? Okay. Our sales data, I didn't show you how many there. We've got 2 that starts at row 2, go down to the bottom. We've got 117,918 rows of data in there. And that is the source data, okay? We're now going to go back to Power BI, and where I was at the point, I was just about to import that data. And what I do, I click, so let's just go back there, do that again. So I go get data, Excel, and it's go to the file location, click the data, Excel spreadsheet, open that spreadsheet, and he automatically connects there and sees those four tabs that were sitting inside that Excel spreadsheet. Now if I click, for example, the geo, he automatically goes in and extracts and gives us a preview of that data to help us understand that we are looking at the correct data. And I can zoom across that, scroll across there and just have a look at it. If I don't like the geo data, I can click the product data, and he does the same thing, obviously. But what I'm going to do to cut to the chase is going to select all four. And that is basically telling Power BI, yep, go to those files and bring them in. Now if I click to load, it would automatically bring them in. What I can do is edit and enhance the ETL process of bringing that data into Power BI. And I'm going to show you that because we're all advanced users, well, going to be very shortly. And we'll click edit. And what edit does, it opens up something called the query editor. Yeah. Now, look at here at the bottom of my taskbar, I've got two, now you can see that I've got two functions open there, two windows open. I've got the Power BI desktop, yeah, which is where we were before. And I've got the query editor, as it's called, yeah. The query editor is the area where you do your ETL. That's where you play with the data before you bring it into Power BI, okay. What do I want to do with this data? Let's start from the top. I'll start with the sales because that's our granular fact data. Sales data, I can see what we've got going across. So look at that, it's product ID. In the top left hand corner there's an icon. I can see it's a 1, 2, 3, it's a whole number. But if I wasn't happy to bring it in as a data type as a whole number because maybe Power BI didn't recognize it correctly, I can obviously overdrive and I choose my data type that I want Power BI to bring that in as. I go to the next column, I've got a date, and he's already identified it as a date, yeah, date, time. Zip codes, he's recognized as a whole number. The units, he's recognized as a whole number. And the revenue, he's recognized at that 1.2 there, because he's recognized that means it's a decimal number, yeah? Now, here on the right-hand side, I've got a name, the properties, that name there, sales, that is the name that I'm giving to this query that I'm bringing into Power BI. And it will also be the name of the table that will reside within the data model when we move forward with that. So I'm just going to give it a different name. Let's call it Sales Manchester, Manc PBI, yeah? Just for the hell of that. Just so you know, you can name it, hit return, and there on the left-hand side, that just changed. Yeah, it doesn't matter, it didn't change the data, just the name of the query. Below here, I've got one area called applied steps. Applied steps basically are each ETL process that Power BI is doing to that ETL procedure to the data. And as we do things, they build up. Here it says change type. What I'm going to do, nothing at this point here, sorry, let's stop. The applied steps, it documents the steps that it does. Later on, if I ever need to edit them, there's a cog at the right-hand side, and I can click that cog, and it will show me the step that ETL was at, yeah? And you can go back and forth, you can click and move down the applied steps. If you're not happy, if you're not sure what happened before, you can go back to the source, and I could even go there, and that's what Power BI was doing at that step within the applied steps. I could then even go to the bottom. I don't like that one. I could delete it, yeah? And there you can manipulate the data. Not only there, but you've got this whole environment here at the top, yeah? We can do loads of different things. Look at this, yeah? We can do we can manage column. Let's go to this one here, transform. Transform to the data. We can transpose data. We can reclassify data types to the columns. We can change the text. We can split columns. We can format columns. We can do statistical analysis. There's features there that if you're in the old school of ETL and bringing data into a database, it would take you hours of coding. Where here, this is just a UI. We just click and do. These are obviously experiences we will do further on in other meetups. Here I'm just trying to skim through quickly, well, as quick as possible. Sales, so we've looked quickly at sales. We're going to go to product, and here's the product table, as we can see, has come in, yeah? It's brought in the product code. I can scroll across the bottom to see the different data. we're pretty confident that they're coming in the correct data format. Data format's critical. Let's do a little change, for example. Which one can we change? Where is it? Let's find one that we can change. Date. Yeah, let's look at date. Date's coming in. Date's coming in as the date, the granular date, the month number, the month name, and then for some reason here, look at Power BI has recognised that as the 15th of January as an individual date. But if we go back to the source data, let's go back to Excel and just look at that date. Yeah, what was it in the column? It was called month, and it was actually the 15th of Jan. I don't know why they put the 15th of Jan there, but probably to do with the fact that it's January 2015. So it's the other way around. It's the American way of doing things. And Power BI has recognised that coming in as the 15th of Jan 2015, which basically is a bit of a decoy, and we don't really want that there. So I'm just going to click that column. I'm going to right click where I can pull up loads of these different features, which you can also find up here in the taskbar at the top. Not taskbar, what's that area called?
Ribbon.
Ribbon, thank you. Bit of collaboration there going on. Good, guys. And I'm just going to right click there and remove that. Yeah, I'm going to remove that column, and there, as you see, it created another step in the on the right hand side, the applied steps, and it removed the column. But maybe I'd made a mistake and I want to delete that, and I click delete, and it gets rid of it, and it goes back to where it was before. So here you can interact with every individual step. Yeah, it's important for you to realize that. Yeah, let's get rid of it. Right, so I'm happy with the data that I'm going to bring in, because I know it's pretty good data, and I'm just going to go back to my home page, and I'm going to click under this icon, close and apply. And what that means is it will apply the modifications that I've made to my ETL steps within these different queries and tables, and will go and catch that data and will bring it in to this on the laptop here on my Power BI desktop. It's gone to the data source, wherever that is. It just happens to be an Excel file sitting here. It could have been anywhere. It could have been out in the cloud. It could have been in a remote database, but it brought it in now here physically onto this laptop. And what happened? The desktop has marginally changed, because here on the right hand side we now have 4 tables. Yeah, and where am I currently here? Because it's highlighted, I'm looking at the report. If I go down a bit, I look at the data, click data, you start to see the data that's come into the model. Here I'm looking at the date table on the right hand side. You click geo, and I start looking at the geo table, and you start to see the fields that have come in through those in each table. As you can see, go to the bottom, that table is now called Sales McKee BI, because that's what we renamed that query to, and hence the table also acquired that name. So I can expand these, and I can see the data that's come in. Yeah, cool. Go to here, the reports. I've not done anything, hence the dashboard's blank. Well, another most interesting thing to go to is to look at our data models. Yeah, we're bringing in data. Yeah, what's happened? Wow, what's that about? I don't know. Let's go and look. How do we look? Can't see it. I can only see 3 things. Go down here. What have I got? I've got a scroll bar. I can zoom in by scrolling here. Yeah. I can go down to this in the bottom right hand corner. If you can see that just there's a little 4-starred thing. I can click that, and it zooms in and accommodates the number of tables that are on the table and puts it into the view. And I've got those 4 tables. I've got that product table. I haven't done anything, remember. Yeah, this is automatically being done by Power BI. I've got that product table. I'm just going to drag that down a bit so we can see the fields in there. I'm just going to drag that a little bit further. The geo table, I don't like it there. I'm going to bring it up and put him there. I clicked and dragged him. And the date table, I'm just going to make that a bit bigger so I can see what fields we've got there. So what have we got here? We've got the sales table, which I know is my fact table, and I'm going to try and create what we call a star schema. The sales being my fact table, and the dimensions upon which I can slice that data. I've got the geo table, the product table, and the date table. I'm just going to drop here. So I'm trying to create a bit of a star schema just to... I hope we all have a good idea what a star schema is. When we do the reports, that will make more sense. Power BI intelligently recognized certain relationships between these 2 tables, and he created this relationship here, which I can see because that star there is a many to one relationship. And I'm going to see what it's about. I'm going to double click that yellow line and see what it is. Oh, hey, this shows us what the relationship. It comes from the Sales McKee PBI table that we created, and you saw the zip code there. relates to the geo table with that zip code. Does clever things. He found that. He created a card and a relationship, a many-to-one relationship, and he created what they call a cross-filter direction, both directions. And you can go in single directions, both directions. For what we're doing at this point, it's not going to we've got the star schema, it's not going to really make a big difference to what we're doing. And I'm making this relationship active. That was already active because it was highlighted and it was solid, it was a solid line. And I've got this other relationship over here. I could double click that, but maybe I don't want to double click. I want to go up here onto the that word's slipping my mind today, what that area is up there, the ribbon. And the manage relationships is there, and I could go into the manage relationships, and I can see that there's currently an existing couple of relationships between these two tables, yeah? And I could go and create a new relationship. I can auto detect relationships, edit the relationships. If I edit it, it opens up that screen that we just saw before. So that's that, and I'm just going to close that. What has it done? Hovering over here, I can then click in that on the left hand side. I can see that it's created a relationship between, visually it's highlighted product ID and product ID there, so I know it's created that link to that table. Here I know it's created a link between zip code and the ZO zip table, but it hasn't managed to find a date relationship. Now if we know the data, we go look at that data, yeah? Back into the table, we click there. I'm going to try and create a date, a relationship with the date. I look at my date table, I've got that date column here, the months and the quarters. What I want to link to is this date column, yeah? And if I go to the sales Mank PBI table, the date that I want to link to is this transactional of the sales invoice date. So I'm going to go back into my on the left hand side here, the relationships, and I'm going to create a relationship. As I said, I could do that in the manage relationships and create a new relationship. There's even an easier way. I'm going to click date from the date dimension, and I'm going to hold it down, drag across and drop it on that date field there, and he's going to go away and create a relationship. Let's just go and check it. Double click here.
Can I ask a question though?
You can ask a question.
So
gives me time to have a drink.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So
My throat was getting a bit dry.
I've tried that before, and I think every time I try to manually look at two tables that have a common field, it's thrown a wobble and said, it already exists, even though it's a new table.
What already exists? The relationship?
No, it's the value that I'm trying to link to the column header, for example.
Probably what it's about is about having a unique value in one of the tables.
Within the data, within the column.
With both tables have to have a unique one of either of the tables has to have a unique value, and that's probably the biggest problem that kicks into people. But you were saying it already exists. I haven't come across that one. We'll just have a quick look at it. We can take that offline later and just email it over to us, and we can have a look at it. Not for you.
Yeah.
It says we can take that deeper. We've got other meetups coming as well, where we're going to go deeper into relationships. Here the objective is just trying to skim the surface. If you don't mind, that's okay. It's always a good excuse not to give the answer, isn't it? Take it offline. Yeah. That's what all the best presenters say, because they can't, because they haven't got the answer, and then they go and do their homework, and then come back with the answer. So I created that relationship there, and I created what is called a one-to-many relationship. Yeah. Why is it one-to-many? Many because if we go back into the sales data, we know that the possibility of having two sales invoices in the same day obviously happens, and that's why there's many dates potentially relate, and there's many dates. We're in the date dimension, we're just looking for a single sequential date, and that's why it's a one-to-many. Great, good. Let's create some reports, because 20 to 7, I've only got 20 minutes. I'm gonna have to speed things up here. So we go into our data. What do we want to do? Let's get some. Let's open these up so we can see all the data down the right hand side. Let's go and find out what the revenue is. So I just click revenue. See that little icon there? Because PowerBI knows it's a number. So I just clicked revenue. God, I didn't do anything. What did he do? He went and created a little chart, and this visualization up here, he decided that was the best visualization to review, show that value that I selected. That revenue there is basically a sum. It's an aggregation, because I look here, what's happened here. This has changed here, relevant to the visualization that I select. All these options here change, and Power BI automatically put revenue into the value field. Yeah, now deselect that, and it's gone away. go back there, click that visualization, the fields are there, the blank. I pick up that revenue and I drag it in, and I let go and I drop it there, and it does exactly the same. Power BI just did it for me. What that is saying is, it's the revenues, the aggregation of that whole column of revenues all the way down. How do I know it's an aggregation? Because I click that little drop down there, and what's he done? He's done a sum, yeah? It's the sum of all there. You can do averages, minimum, maxes. These are the different built-in features that Power BI will let you do on the aggregations. But revenue, just by looking at that, is pretty boring. Let's do something a bit more different. Let's slice that data, yeah? When we slice that data, let's slice it by, for example, the month name. So, lesson number 1. When you are on the dashboard, click the dashboard to deselect anything. When you want to work in a visual, click the visual, and then you are operating within that visual. So I've clicked it, it's highlighted. So now I want to add the month name to that visual. Oh, there we are. Gosh, yep, I got suddenly, it created the month name. I can drag that. I don't like that, what I clicked before, so I'm just going to delete that. And here we've got, if you can see that, it's a bit small up there. Let's make it a bit bigger so we can see it. And then we've got the dates. Okay, we got the reports by months. Well, unfortunately, all the months are in the wrong, and they're in alphabetical order because it defaults to alphabetical order. So what I'm going to quickly do, I'm going to go into the table and I'm going to say, hey, don't report month name alphabetically. Actually, go into the modeling task and report month name, but sort it by the month number, such that it will sort it in a sequential number month order rather than an alphabetical order. And hopefully if I go and click back here, now he'll have sorted the data. Oh yes, January, February, March, April, May, June, he's done it for me. It's good of him. So that you can see at the back, yeah, and then I'm going to make it a bit smaller. That's just our monthly sales, right? What else can we do? Let's put a logo on here. Let's go into the top here, the home, and let's insert an image. We've got an image. I've got an image called Van Arstel. If I'm sitting there on my desktop, I'm going to click him. He's automatically gone down there. I don't like that. I'm just going to make him a bit smaller and stick him in the top left-hand corner. Right, let's drag that sales over there. What else do we want to do? Does anyone want to give a suggestion whilst I'm doing? Anyone? I'm going to do revenue by... I clicked... Sorry? By always the pizzas that dominate these scenarios. So we've got a dashboard here. I've created this dashboard. I've got to save this. This is a file called .pbix. I'm going to save him. I'm going to save him as Van Darsel, and I'm going to call him the PBI Mank version. Okay, I'm going to save him. So he saved it here to my local desktop. I need to now publish that to the cloud. Yeah, remember about publishing? Yeah, we go back to the, you remember that, don't you? We're on the local desktop. I've got to push it up to the Power BI service. So I go to this publish button here in the top right hand corner. I click publish, and he knows I'm logged in as this my virtual assistant, May, out in the Philippines. Always good, these Philippine virtual assistants, they do loads for you at a good price. And here I've published that to the Power BI cloud, and it now gives me the opportunity to open that. I can just click it and it will take me to the pbi.com web browser version of the user who is logged in, yeah, in the top right hand corner. And we are now landing that PowerBI.com service in the cloud, yeah? Remember before here it was on the left hand side, I believe, on the turn, and it was blank, wasn't it? No, it wasn't, that's not mine, close that. Here on the left hand side we've got these little hamburger icon. We can click that and it shows us, coming here down the left hand side, 3 key areas, one called the data set, one called reports, and one called dashboards. What we're currently looking at, because it's highlighted, is that report that was published. Look here at the bottom, yeah, you've got a sales tab, you've got a page 1 tab. Yep, and the sales tab. That is a report in the cloud with many tabs going across the report. We have the data set associated with that report is there. Can't see anything here, but you can see the data sets on the right hand side, yeah? You can do many different things you can do up here. We will eventually look at them one day. Let me go back to the report. I have a report. What I now need to do is create what they call a dashboard. A dashboard is a few of these key tiles that I want to go on that dashboard that's then going to get shared across the organization. And what you do to create a dashboard, can you see here I've got dashboards, I've got two, I've got one called VD Step 1 and one 0. What I'm going to do is create a new dashboard. And what I'm going to pin to it, the first thing I'm going to pin to it is the Van Arstel logo. So I click that and there's a little pin icon pops up there and I click pin. And then I go here, pin to dashboard, and I create a new dashboard. I'm going to call it the PBI Dashboard, yeah? And I click pin and it pins that logo to that dashboard. And here now on the left hand side I've got a new dashboard with a little yellow star. So because it's new. And when I'm going to click that, that is what they call the starting of a dashboard. I've got the logo there. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to drag him here and make him a bit smaller. I've got as I'm dragging him, he resizes a bit, and I'm going to drop him there. I'm going to go back to the report. I'm going to pin another tile from that dash report. I like this little number here. I'm going to pin him. Pin that to the Manc dashboard. Yeah. I'm going to pin this donut to the Manc dashboard. There it goes, yeah? Let's go back to look what the dashboard looks like. Click here on the left, go up there, and he's dropping them. But when I don't like that, I'm going to drag them and drop them underneath each other. Drag him, drop him underneath. Oh, he's a bit big, and I'm going to have to scroll down, get in the bottom right-hand corner, and drag it back up, and have them all lined up there. Now, that's what the makings of a dashboard, yeah? What happens with a dashboard is that when anyone interacts with that dashboard, and they click the tile on the dashboard, click, it takes them to the report in the cloud, yeah? So remember, dashboards have some of the tiles from reports, and you can add tiles from multiple reports to a dashboard, yeah? So I could go into this 0, which is an accounting package, and it's got other dash tiles on. I could add that to the same dashboard, yeah? Go back to the dashboard again, and there's that tile there again, right? So you can, the beauty of the dashboard is it's a landing portal where you log in the morning, you go to your dashboard, and you can see what's been happening across your organization. You can click the tile and it takes you to the more detailed reports. Going to drag him and drop him down there. Oh, squeeze him in. Why not? Squeeze him in there. Let's drag down here, move this over a bit. Up, okay, and drag him back up. Oops, well, he's now ended at the bottom anyway, he's there. That is automatically saving, it's in the cloud, it's online, it's 365, it's saved it. Great, what can I do with that dashboard? I want to share it. You go into the top right hand corner and you click share and you start sharing it across the organization. You can enter email addresses, yeah, and click share. Now, does anyone want to give their email address out without the whole of the organization spamming you? Any volunteer out there? No. Go on, anyone? No one commits, do they? Let's let me.
Would.
Kieran.
Yeah.
No, you've no problem with giving your email, have you? Because you're going to have it up there on the presentation. Yep. Go on. Sorry, I'm sorry. I don't know it off the top of my head, Kieran.
Wood is in 3.
Kieran. Sorry, Wood is in. Sorry, starts with Wood.
Yeah, I don't want to give you business one because it's too long.
Okay, no probs.
Kieran, K-I-E-R-A-N @gmail.com.
Good man. Okay, and I'm just going to say, hi Kieran, dashboard from Manchester. Okay, and I'm going to give you the option here. I can allow recipients to share the dashboard or send email notifications. What I generally do, I don't let other people share my dashboards, just as a security step for this current point, but it's not a problem, it's not sensitive data. So I should be in a position now to just share that. Why can't I share it? What's happened?
Oh, sorry, you're right, yes.
Gmail's blocked, of course. Good observation. Doesn't like Gmail addresses.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it, I'll send it to myself.
Does the recipient have to be within any kind of Microsoft agreement?
It's on the Office 365 tenants, your organisation. This would populate with the other email addresses on the tenancy, on the tenant, and but you can share outside the organisation, yes. As long as without outside Office 365, as long as you're aware with who you're sharing it with, obviously, yes.
Apart from Gmail.
Apart from public type of Gmail accounts, probably because it's Microsoft product.
Hotmail as well.
It's got to be a company.
It's got to be a corporate address.
Yeah.
Can you schedule it to be sent to people?
Can you schedule it? You can share it with people and then you can schedule refreshes. Yes. Yep. So I'm just going to quickly share that. I'm just conscious it's 7 o'clock. Okay, so that's been shared. Now, I shared it with myself, didn't I? I bet I don't. I can't even remember on my own my own email account. Gosh, I'm going to have to do a live login here, am I? This is going to be embarrassing. Where's that book? Okay, good. So who remembers their own passwords? No one remembers their own passwords these days, do they? Let's go into Gmail. Let's see what am I logged in as. Who am I logged in as? Sorry, let's go to Gmail. What am I logged in as? Sign in with a different user. Gosh, this is my company. This is my company laptop. I've never logged here on my personal. The clients. God, this is going to be embarrassing. But I didn't prepare this bit. I was hoping someone would give me their email account.
I'll give you my business one if you want.
Go on, please. Yeah.
Kieran at innovativebusinessintelligence.com. Sorry, it's long.
It's all right, Kieran. Don't worry about it. It's a good bit of publicity. Kieran dot.
No dot.
Kieran at. Do you want me to just type it in?
Yep.
That'll probably be fairer. Sorry.
Shout it out.
innovativebusinessintelligence.com.
innovativebusinessintelligence.com.
Yeah, you got it.
Got it?
Sorry.
Okay, and that's been shared as well, yeah? Now, you're going to be able to log into your email, are you? Or have you got it on your mobile, possibly? Yep. Okay, so meanwhile, while that's happening, everyone else wants to share this. Great, let's do anything else. Let's share this. Let's share the report with other people. Let's go in here, let's click the report. I'm going to share this report with all of you guys. How am I going to do that? I'm going to go to File. I'm going to publish this report to the web. Okay, I'm going to embed it in a public website up there in the. I'm sorry, I'm just going to get a URL in the cloud, create the embedded code, publish it. I've been given a URL. There's a public URL that anyone can go to. Yeah. Yep. I'll go in for closure in. Give me 2 minutes. And there's that public URL. Okay, and that is that report in the cloud. I'm going to do something even quicker. I'm just going to go to Google, short URL. Okay, guys, there's that report sharing up on Kieran's. It wasn't a fix. We didn't plan this before, believe me. It's cool. I'm going to go to Google, shorten that URL, and I'm going to stick it there. I'm going to share. I'm not a robot. Come on, what's select images? Select images with a storefront. My God. Is that a store there? Yes. Verify. Okay, shorten URL. And there's the shorten URL. I'm going to go to the Meetup page, which we all have access to, because you all registered. So you get out your little mobiles, get out your tablets, go to the Meetup page where the meeting is, and I'm going to drop that URL into the comments. Yep. I'm going to post it to the Meetup page. It's in there, so hopefully you're all now opening the Meetup app and going to the comments, and it's popping up on your apps. No one, come on guys, get them out. And click that link in your apps, and hopefully you should have a copy of the dashboard. If you haven't, you can go home and do that, and you should be able to see that dashboard. I didn't quite achieve as much what I wanted to. That's life. You always don't get what you wanted to do. So I'm going to quickly close due to Alex shouting there in the back, because he did say that the pizza's arrived. And I'm just looking for my presentation. Where is it? I'm there. And I was going to switch. I'm just going to flick through and see what I was going to discuss. See if there's anything important. Yep, just let me give a pitch. We'll be doing a presentation at the UK Power BI Summit, which is happening down in Hemel Hempstead in London. And that's happening on the 16th to 17th of Feb. So if you want to catch up with what's happening at the UK Power BI Summit, go to that portal. We'll share these slides after. That is me, David Moss. What a bite. If you want to get my card, come here later and grab one.
Thank you very much.
And we'll have a speak with you. Thank you.